And then it was, okay, we got to have a cast.
Wow. And it was supposed to be 6 weeks.
Yeah, it was just supposed to be a 6-week docuseries. Yeah. And like, we didn't even know it was going to be like a reality TV show, or it was going to go on for like 7 seasons. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I love the idea that your mom was a principal and just literally just bringing my daughter to a healthy activity, whereas the others were the classic dance
Yeah, the
moms.
other ones definitely were just like classic dance moms. My mom, like, I feel like over the years she kind of morphed into more of a dance
she had
mom.
to become one.
Had to become one.
Hello, Heal Squad. Welcome back. We are talking to Nia Sioux today. She is formerly of Dance Moms. Not sure if you've ever watched that show. I haven't, but you're still going to love this episode if you did or did not. We're talking all about mental health growing up in the reality TV world, which is becoming more and more prevalent, as you know. Where everyone wants to be a part of it, but they don't really know what they're signing up for. You're going to learn so much more about that. And the conversation that we had in part 2 of our chat about the pressure that this generation has on them is really eye-opening, and I think you're going to really love it. Let's first start with our quote of the day. There is no normal life that is free of pain. It's the very wrestling with our problems that can be the impetus for our growth. And that was from Fred Rogers. Okay, friends, we are chatting with Nia Sioux today. She's a multi-talented artist, mental health advocate. She first gained recognition as a cast member on the reality TV show Dance Moms, which launched her career in entertainment. Since then, she has been on TV shows like Bold and the Beautiful films, showcasing her acting and performance skills. Most recently, she directed a digital series called Capture the Convo, where she creatively directed and produced this piece as part of Seize the Awkward campaign by the Ad Council, empowering young adults to have these open conversations about mental health issues with their peers. Nia is committed to helping others through their mental health journeys, and you will get to learn all about it in this first part, followed by the second part. Enjoy. We're having some fun chatting with Nia before we started getting into this interview. I think we've established we're not safe anymore, and there's no truth. And Spirit Airlines when you're 23 is still an option in a pinch, but when you're 46 like me, it's over with. What have we all? Is there anything else that we've discussed before the show starts, honey?
There's no direct flights to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, no direct flights to Pittsburgh.
I mean, it's not the show for this, but I was excited to talk Dance Moms because I didn't know. I'm so excited to have.
I don't think that's off the table.
Yeah, it's not off the table.
So, honey,
Well, Abby Lee, she'd come to AfterBuzz a long time, and I asked her if she remembered. She was little. Like, if you remember AfterBuzz, and she said she did.
Yeah, I do remember AfterBuzz. I do.
Wow.
I do.
That's so funny. So,
Something
did you
we don't
come
remember,
and do interviews for us at AfterBuzz?
Yeah. We went in a couple times,
Yes,
right? Like with
yeah.
all the girls. Yeah,
That's
it was
so
fun.
wild.
It was fun.
How wild.
Yeah, how old were you at the time? Do you remember? Like,
When I did AfterBuzz, I can't remember how old I was, but when I started the show I was 9, and it ended when I was like 16. So like the last
Wow.
episode I was on aired when I was 16. So yeah.
Was that a good experience for you?
I feel a lot of different ways about the show, but
When someone starts with, that's all you need to know.
yeah, I have like a lot of like mixed emotions, but I always say this. I'm like, no matter what, like I'm always grateful for it. It's how I got my start.
Mm-hmm.
I learned so much from it too. So much. And I was able to have like some incredible opportunities with it as well. Like traveling the world, getting to spend so much time with my mom, learning dances really quickly, So, there's a lot. The show is a lot, and but I'm always going to be grateful for it, I'm never ashamed of it. It's how I got my start.
Do you remember how you were and who you were before you did it?
Yeah, for sure.
And did you change? I mean, obviously you're going to change the very important years of your life, but I mean, do you think it did anything to you?
Well, I grew up with 2 brothers, so they're very humbling.
That's their job.
They're very humbling. And I come from a really just like amazing family. So in my household, I'm I'm just little Nia. So I don't know. It definitely changed my life. But my life still very much feels the same. It's very weird. I don't know. It's changed my life in so many ways. Like, like when I go out, like people recognize me and, I get to do all these cool things. But also like I go home, I chill with my parents, like I hang out with my brothers. Not much has changed. Like I'm still like a Pittsburgh girl at heart. Yeah.
But I mean like your personality, like
my personality,
who you are. Like, do you feel like it at any point did anything to your spirit? Like I know like when I look back at some jobs, like, oh man, did they just like really mess with my spirit?
Right,
and I had such a bright light before, and then it got a little dim, but it's back. It would come in and out. It was like electricity with shortages. Like, did it change you? Like, do you feel like you were a different person before TV and reality TV came into your life?
Yeah.
And it's hard because you're 9 when you start.
Right.
But when you look back as an adult,
some things are kind of like hard to like remember how I was feeling. And part of me, I was like, oh, I wish I would have kept like a journal with me to like write down everything I went through. And, so I just go off of like what I kind of remember, and I try to write everything down now. Mm-hmm. But I was always just kind of like, I don't know, like I've always just kind of been like not shy, but more like reserved person. Like even when I was like little, like just kind of reserved. But like when I hit the stage, like I turn into like a different person. Like I'm like, it's like the Sasha Fierce effect. Like that's who I am. So like in real life, I'm pretty chill. And I was a very like happy kid, very, very happy kid. And growing up just like in the public eye, I definitely like it took a toll on my mental health for sure. And at the time I didn't really know what mental health was. It wasn't necessarily talked about, which is interesting because it's such a big topic now. But at the time growing up, it still was like an evolving thing. No one really talked about their mental health. So when I was on the show, like I started out really happy. When it ended, I wasn't that happy. I was kind of, like being on a show for so long, and then that I'm done. It was just kind of like, okay, so trying to get my bearings again, trying to figure out, how to process everything. Like I was a little broken. I'm not gonna lie. I was not a little. I was just kind of broken. And
were you broken because it was the end of the show, or were you broken because of things that happened on the show and now you were able to have time to process it?
Like burnt out, maybe.
Both. I think burnt out is like the perfect word. I was just burnt out. I mean, we were just constantly working, and although like I would enjoy it, it became work. Mm-hmm. And something that used to be something that brought me so much joy, and that was like my escape. It wasn't necessarily my escape anymore because it was my job, And I was like, and I was 9, so dancing was like, oh my gosh, this is my favorite thing to do. Like it's part of me. It still is, but then you grow up, and it's interesting because like a lot of dancers who weren't on a TV show even kind of go through this. They have like that phase. And I feel like even with sports, like they get to a certain age, like a teenager, like 14, 15, and they make that decision, like, do they still want to keep doing this? Because it's like, it takes so much time. You're thinking about high school and college and all that kind of stuff. Like, do you see this in your future? Is this going to, I don't know.
There's more pressure as you get older because there are decisions to be made around it.
Yes, exactly. So,
and the adults in your life,
exactly,
are trying to make those decisions with you. So, how did you get into Dance Moms? Like, who was that? Something you initiated?
And can I play off that question, because I feel like when you think of, you probably have friends who are Disney stars, being
a few, yeah.
Right. Okay. So with them, they're signing. Their parents are bringing them out here. They're like, oh my God,
right.
I'm signing up for Disney. I'm going to be on a Disney series. If I get it, all these things are going to happen. With you all, wasn't it just a matter of you were just going to a dance school?
Yeah.
Right? So it's a different mentality. Like, these were just kids, Maria, that were going to learn dance.
So they decided to start filming that dance school?
Yeah, that's
so there's a whole, psychologically speaking, there's two different things going on here. One, they didn't sign up for this. They signed up to go learn dancing. And then all of a sudden, all these cameras are there. And there's that of it. The second part is, while we're starting to learn in our business how to manage a child star from going back 40 or 50 years ago, really didn't know how to manage a child reality star.
Yeah.
So this is a new word, right? So this is new. And by the way, I
never thought about that, but you're right.
There were no child labor laws in Pennsylvania at the time.
Well, around reality. And then, but I'm even thinking for psychologically speaking, we know how to manage better. Because we understand.
Yeah.
And now, so anyway, so that's what I find interesting is you just, in your heart of hearts, I just want to dance.
Yeah.
Right? That's all it was.
It's all it was. I just wanted to dance. My mom wasn't even really necessarily a dance mom when the show started. Obviously, yes, she was, but she would just drop me off at dance. Some of the other girls' moms, they would be there at dance, and watch. But my mom, she was the principal. She has 2 other kids. She had a lot going on, and I was cool. My granddad dropped me off at dance every day. So when it's interesting because when the show started, I was excited because they have what's it called, an audition, an interview, and I forced my mom to do it. My mom was like, I'm not doing that. But after the 3rd time I asked, I was like, well, you just, I don't know what it is, but it seems cool. 9-year-old Nia was just so excited. All of her dance friends were doing it. And I was like, yeah, why wouldn't I do this? And
so they allowed you to audition, and then they were going to put that group together within that school. Is that
to make a reality show?
Yeah.
Think of all the reality companies we worked with.
So were they focusing on Abby, and then
they probably? I'm just guessing. I don't know the genesis show. They knew she was a star, Abby, which she is a star, like her or not. She's a lightning rod, and then it was okay. We got to have a cast.
Wow, and it was supposed to be 6 weeks.
Yeah, it was just supposed to be a 6-week docuseries. Yeah, and we didn't even know it was going to be a reality TV show, or it was going to go on for 7 seasons. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I love the idea that your mom was a principal and just literally just bringing my daughter to a healthy activity, whereas the others were the classic dance
Yeah, the
moms.
other ones definitely were just classic dance moms. My mom, I feel over the years she kind of morphed into more of a dance
she had
mom.
to become one.
Had to become
had
one.
to.
I think it just kind of happens, probably.
No, but you had to as a responsibility
but she
as a
wasn't
parent.
A stage mom, though, and I think that's the difference too.
Wait, so what's a classic dance mom? These other kids that you say
Stage mom. But let her answer.
Yeah.
She knows better.
Okay, so a dance mom is when your mom goes to all the dance classes. What else? The dance mom knows how to do your hair and makeup.
Pageant mom. Pageant mom.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm trying to see if I
your-
can correlate it. Sorry, guys, my blood sugar is
your
being
dance routine
obnoxious.
to a T. So it's she knows if your foot's pointed or sickled or she knows certain things where she can help her daughter.
Oh boy, that's
No,
intense.
and in their minds they're thinking we're going all the way.
Yes, exactly. My mom was just have fun. She's like, what do you mean your feet aren't pretty? You have beautiful feet.
Oh my.
So over the years she got because she had to for dance moms, but she got more involved and
she got sucked in.
She got sucked in, and
did you ever have to check your mom?
No, because at the end of the day, all she cared about was if I was having fun. She always kind of left the decision up to me. She didn't necessarily want to do the show for herself.
Yeah,
it was really just for me. So yeah. So everything was kind of just up to me.
At what point or at what age did you think oh God, I don't like this?
Oh, honestly, the reason I stayed, on the show, like the whole 7 seasons was because like one, I was so used to it, but I loved my team. Like I genuinely loved my team. I feel like you get to a certain point and you're just like tired of doing the same thing over and over again. We talked about burnout. So by the last season, I was just kind of I was done, Mm-hmm. I think the producers were looking like, you want to do another season? No, I'm good. I honored my contract. Like, I think I'm good. But yeah.
I love that you even thought like that. Like,
what?
I honored my contract.
I just thought of something else.
What?
I don't even want to know what that contract stipulated and how little you were paid.
Right, that's another conversation.
Right?
Yeah.
But I mean, like, no,
that's
and
just
because
reality
that's
TV, honey.
Yeah,
no, but I also don't know what
TV.
the laws are in that state, because 7 years is usually the term. No company can have you for over that amount of time.
Yes,
that's like
there's
a limit
one you can do,
and that's what. Sorry to go.
No, it's funny that you know, but
advocate.
Like,
of course, it's my
know,
business.
But yeah, it's the longest.
So it's like, thank you for your service. No, but that's why God bless all of you for being successful outside of those brands, because.
Thank you. I really do appreciate it. I feel like, it's taken some time to kind of like figure out my lane, and I'm still figuring it out. I'm 23. I just finished college, so I'm just like, it's definitely a time of change now as well. But I'm really, really happy, and honestly, like really proud of like how far I've come from the show, because I could have just been like, okay, that's it. I'm just gonna be done with everything, but just I knew that wasn't it for me, and I knew that I wanted more. Like I wanted to like keep pursuing my passions, which is just like performing in any capacity and seeing what it leads to, and it's led to some beautiful things, some things that like I would have never imagined in like a million years I'd be able to do. So yeah.
What's the one that like blew you away the most?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. So many. One of the things I'm like most proud of is I did an off-Broadway show when I was like 15, and it was like my summer job, and it was the most amazing thing ever, and I'm like itching to go back because I've always wanted to be on Broadway. So that's something that I'm like, I have to do that again, because I had like a glimpse of it like for like 6 weeks.
Have you tried out for anything?
Not really, actually, because of school. Really. Okay,
got it. So now this is your time.
Yeah, because when I did that, I was in high school, and then after high school, I was like, I'm gonna go to college, and it just has never really been like the right time to really do that. But now that I'm done, like I'm going to like train and like get back into the zone and do that type of thing, because I'm obsessed with it. But like I've just been able to do so many cool things. Like I did a soap opera. Was on a soap opera for 2 years.
Which one were you on?
The Bold and Beautiful.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I was series regular. Like it was so cool. I played an intern on the show. My name was Emma. I died in a car crash. Like I had the whole
That's
thing.
The ultimate soap opera moment.
I had the whole thing. So yeah, I got to do that. I've been able to travel the world and do so many things. I've been able to do some advocacy work. I've worked with the White House. I've met the president. I've met the vice president. I've met Michelle Obama. Like I've been able to do so many great, like really cool things that like I never thought I would be able to do, and it's like a reality. It's really cool.
So I would say, so do you feel as though the dance mom thing outweigh the positives? Because all that, it's what it sounds like a fairy tale after the fact. I know it was painful.
After the fact, yeah.
Well, once you heal.
Yes, exactly. And you know what? Like, I feel like I'm still healing, I feel like it's always going to be something that I'm going to work on. But I'm grateful that it wasn't just like, you hear these really crazy stories about like child actors and, I'm really happy that just wasn't me. I think part of the reason why is just my family. Like,
it's your mom. That's what it sounds like. Yeah,
family
your family.
And faith, honestly, just like being close to my family. They are my rock. They're my world. They're the ones who like keep me going, keep me in check, keep me level-headed, keep me grounded. So yeah, I can't, like, my immediate family, but also like my extended family as well. Like my grandma, my nana, like my aunt, like I have so many great, especially like Black women in my life who have really helped me. I have amazing mentors. Like I'm really that kind of person that's like a community-based person. So yeah, I'm never gonna just take credit for just being like, oh, I did this. I did not do all this by myself. Like I have so many amazing people like in my corner rooting for me, and like those are the people that like keep me going and keep me like.
And it was probably the difference, like with other people come out of it and they're not well. They come out of the fame system and they're not well. Did you see the Amanda Bynes documentary?
Let's hold right there, only because I have to mention our amazing sponsors that help us with this show. And by the way, full circle moment for me too, because I grew up working at Macy's. Not grew up working at Macy's, but I worked at Macy's growing up as a fragrance spritzer. And then they came on board of this show and have been supporting us ever since, which has been super cool. So friends, you know, I love my summer looks, and I've got all of my amazing cover-ups and bathing suits and such ready for our trip coming up. We're going to Greece. We're very excited. And so if you are still planning your vacation or getting ready to go on yours, or if you have some events coming up, like whatever, barbecues or whatever event, you also back to school stuff, check out my wish list using the link inside the podcast description here for some of my favorites. Also, Nia, I'm not sure if you are a fan, but we over here on this side of the studio are diehards of Wonderful Pistachios.
Ooh, I love pistachios.
You do? Have you tried Wonderful Pistachios?
No.
Okay.
Wait, maybe.
Nike, Dwayne, we will have to furnish Nia with some wonderful pistachios on the way out. We are diehard fans. They're amazing, by the way.
Wait,
and they have different flavors. You definitely have. If you do you ever buy them in the airport?
Yeah, is that the?
Yes.
Oh, I do. I love those.
Yeah, they're in the green bag.
Yes,
okay,
those are so good.
But they also have other flavors now, like sweet chili, which is my favorite, salt and vinegar, which I add to my salads.
Amazing.
And I love adding them to my salads because each 1 ounce serving gives you 6 grams of protein. So I really like throwing that extra protein in there. It gives you over 10% of your daily value. So if you guys want to check out Wonderful Pistachios, you can go to wonderfulpistachios.com. Let us know what flavor you end up with. And if you love my sweet chili more than Kevin's salt and pepper, you know, you're a regular.
Salt and vinegar, I like lightly salted. And I will say that when I have to fly Spirit Airline, or when I get to fly Spirit Airline, I do bring my pistachios for my protein and
your joy.
And my joy. That brings me my joy. And I'll just leave it at that.
I love it. Did you ever have any jobs at like Macy's or anything like that?
No, I was actually just talking to my friend this past weekend about this. I was like, I never had just like a traditional job.
Do you wish you did?
No.
Good.
Yeah. I think
you did it right.
We had some family friends, like someone at my dad's job once who asked if I could like babysit their kids. I was like, no, I cannot. I was I don't trust myself enough to do that.
That's so funny.
I was like, yeah, no. Honestly, I was kind of, even if I wanted to, I literally was just kind of too busy to.
You couldn't have.
You were actually working.
Have one, yeah, because I've literally even after the show, I've been working ever since. So
how do you handle being able to see your family because they're on the other side of the world?
Yeah. Well, my mom comes out to visit all the time. And before things got like too intense at school, I would go home and visit quite a bit. But yeah, I feel like that's just been like the story of my life, just never ever being home, like even during the Dance Moms days, like never ever being home. That's why when I'm home, like I don't ever take it for granted because it's just nice to be still and to be around my family. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my mom visits a lot. My dad and like my brother. So my younger brother actually goes to Chapman in Orange County, so I see him from time to time. And then my mom and dad live in Pittsburgh, and my older brother live in Pittsburgh. So whenever they have time, they'll come out and visit. Anytime like something needs to be done with like my car from moving or whatever, my dad will come out and help me with that. And like last year I had to get a new car because my car lease was up, and he came out to help me with that, and dad things. Yeah, but I tried to go home to visit a lot because my whole family, we're busy people, busy. But everyone actually was able to come out for my graduation last month, which was awesome. Thank you.
What did you study?
American literature.
Oh, what do you want to do with that?
I love writing. I really do. I love writing. And I'm just like a storyteller. So any way I can like help, write a story, like that's awesome. Like I just love reading. Like I just love learning. So American literature was like the perfect major. I kind of went into it not knowing what to expect. But it turned out to be perfect for me. It turned out to be perfect. Yeah, it was good. It was good.
So cool.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And so when we were talking about the whole Dance Moms journey, at what point did you start kind of addressing the mental health stuff that you were dealing with? Because now you've kind of really leaned into that arena, and I want to kind of know the origins.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I've always been that kind of person to be open about like my feelings, and well, let me take that back, because that I've always wanted, to kind of like have this bigger conversation about like how people are feeling. Yeah. Because I'm like, for me personally, it took a long time for me to be comfortable sharing all of like my emotions and not all my thoughts. I don't share all my thoughts, but all my like emotions and like, but something that has really helped me, actually, I feel like my mentors and like my mom especially, but like there's been certain people in my life who have kind of helped me talk more and more about like how I'm feeling, like are you taking care of yourself, like mind, body, and soul, all of that together, because it's not just are you healthy physically, like are you healthy like mentally as well. So I feel like as I've gotten older and as mental health has been becoming more of like a conversation, I think in college it really has been a topic that I feel like has been close to my heart, because I'm navigating a new world. I want to kind of like share my experiences to help other people. And then since this is something that was so like dear to my heart, like having these open conversations, always kind of like being that friend for other people too who are going through things, and having friends that I can lean on. It really just made me think of how can I help other people like be more comfortable in having these conversations with the people in their lives, who might not be at the place where, or be too like scared to go find help, and there's always help, but or like a professional. So when the ad council came to me and asked me if I would want to be on a project called their big organization Seize the Awkward, their big campaign that they've had for a while. They asked me
Seize the Awkward.
Seize the Awkward. It's all about having these candid conversations and talking about things that are a little bit taboo, And I've been a huge fan of their work for years now. I've even done work with the ad council in the past, and when they asked me to do to help direct it and also like star in this project, it's a Seize the Awkward campaign, but it's called Capture the Convo. It was right up my alley, because I was like, oh my gosh, like this is something that I've been wanting to do. I've been wanting to find a place to kind of help people, but I don't really like know how to, and I felt like this was like a great catalyst to do so. So when they asked me, I knew that Capture the Convo had to be something centered around just friendship and really getting the chance to have these conversations with the people in your life that aren't necessarily like professionals, who deal with this kind of stuff, but to help people or to kind of be an example for people who might want to have these conversations with their loved ones. I think a lot of people don't really know what to do in certain situations or know how to start talking about their mental health. And I wanted to create something that people could look at and see and be like, oh, okay, that's how you can ask this type of question. Or it doesn't have to be daunting. We don't have to like have like set up this huge talk and make it scary. Like we can be at a sleepover, we could just be out getting lunch, we could just be chilling in the backyard. Like we can have these conversations without making it into like a bigger deal than it already is, because it is a big deal having these conversations, but meeting people where they're at is so important. So
how do you do that?
Well, one of the biggest things is making sure that you make the person that you're talking to comfortable. I mean, you always want people to like talk on their terms. You don't want to push them. And something that I've learned, especially like doing this, is you always want to remind the person that like there is always someone there. You know, like there's always someone out there that can help you no matter what. And that is like the biggest thing that we try to instill in people, and to, at least for me, like people on my page, like I try to instill like there's always help out there. There's always help out there. And to lean into the people in your life. And if you don't have someone you're comfortable talking to in your life, there are resources where you can go to get help. You know, you don't have to do this all by yourself. So yeah.
What do you think helped you the most?
During this project, or just like in general with my mental health? In general
with yours, yeah. Because that's how you learn, is how one person did it. Yeah.
Well, honestly, like my friends and my family. Like I know I talk about them so much, but like genuinely, like I can't do all this by myself. I can't. I call my mom so much. She's like my best friend. And I have really, really, really amazing friends in my life that I can really talk to them about anything and everything, you know? My best friend, Jake, like if I'm ever like in a low place, I know I can call him and there's no judgment. He's just like a listening ear, you know? Even if I'm like, hey, I don't necessarily know if I need advice. I just need to like talk about this. I need to just tell you how I'm feeling. Or like I get very overwhelmed sometimes. And my boyfriend has actually been just like so amazing, just keeping me calm and kind of like reminding me that like I'm doing a good job. My mom always tells me like when I get into my head that she's proud of me, and that I'm doing a really good job. And that's something that has helped me, like hearing from people like, Nia, like don't worry, because I get in my head. I get very overwhelmed, very anxious, especially with like just the state of everything. I don't know. And my mom has been like that person to really like remind me at times, like, hey, you're doing a really good job. She's like, you're only 23 and you're doing a lot. And like, she reminds me like, it's okay to feel the way that you're feeling. That's another thing. People telling you it's okay to feel the way you feel, because, you know, for so long growing up, like, you know, the motto at my dance studio was like, don't like save your tears for the pillow. Like, you're not allowed to cry. I'd get in trouble if I cried, you know? So I would like not, you know, try and
what?
Like, I just didn't want to like,
oh my God.
I like, you know, suppressed a lot of emotions growing up. And I think that's why, like, as a performer, like, I love leaving everything on the dance floor, because like all the emotions come up and it's just like a very
cathartic.
Yeah, it is. But something that I had to kind of just like unlearn is just like, you know what, like having every emotion is good. Like being angry, sad, happy, confused, like all these emotions. I'm like, is this an ad for the Inside Out 2 movie? I mean,
that's what I was thinking. It's my favorite animated film. My favorite animated film, Inside Out, the first one.
Wait, what did you say?
The first one's right. It's my favorite animated film.
I love it. It's amazing.
Time.
It's amazing. So like, but it just, I mean, it's a great example. But all these emotions are part of what makes us human. Like, it's normal. And so the people in my life remind me of that. And I remind the people in my life that they are allowed to feel all the feelings. And that's what has helped me the most, is like being able to feel all the feelings like unapologetically it's been very freeing. It's been very like healing. It's and it's a journey, because you always forget. You're in the middle of, you get in your head, you're upset, like, oh my gosh, like, why am I feeling this way? Da, 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 da. But then it's good to have someone to kind of calm you down. If I don't have someone like right there, like say I'm traveling or I'm just, I try to like just take a moment and remember things are going to be okay. I breathe like, no matter what, it's going to be okay. Mm-hmm. It's going to be okay. And that's something that is hard to remember sometimes in the heat of moments, in the heat of the moment.
But it's a good tool.
It's
once you look in your tool belt, you're like, oh, I can use this one.
Yeah, like, yes. It's a great one to pull out of the pocket sometimes. Like, wow, wait, I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to be okay. Yeah.
I love it.
I think let's take the opportunity to wrap and bring this into part 2.
Okay.
And in part 2, I really want to explore the Save the Tears for Your Pillow.
Yeah.
Because I think that is... No, I really think that's powerful. I think a lot of people have been taught to save their tears for the pillow.
You're looking at someone who would produce her cries.
Okay.
I would produce all with
that,
my calendar when I was going to cry.
Maria.
Wait, really?
Oh, yeah.
Kids, all that and more. Tomorrow.
Yeah, tune in.
On part 2 of
In the meantime, be nice people, make good choices, express your emotions. Be nice people, make good choices. And wait, I already forgot my...
Stay present. It's behind you, honey. Be present.
I forgot my own thing.
Look behind you. I forget it all the time when I do it.
Be present. That was funny.
This podcast and all related content published or distributed by or on behalf of Maria Menounos or MariaMenounos.com is for informational purposes only and may include information that is general in nature and that is not specific to you. Any information or opinions expressed or contained herein are not intended to serve as or replace medical advice, nor to diagnose, prescribe, or treat any disease, condition, illness, or injury, and you should consult the healthcare professional of your choice regarding all matters concerning your health, including before beginning any exercise, weight loss, or healthcare program. If you have or suspect you may have a healthcare emergency, please contact a qualified healthcare professional for treatment. Any information or opinions provided by a guest expert or host featured within website or on company's podcast are their own, not those of Maria Menounos or the company. Accordingly, Maria Menounos and the company cannot be responsible for any results or consequences or actions you may take based on information or opinions.